While millions of Iranians struggle to put food on their tables under crushing sanctions, one family lives like this. Multi-million-dollar estates, private jets, and champagne that costs more than most people's monthly salary. This is the Pahlavi family, Iran's exiled royalty, and what you're about to see will make your blood boil. They lost their throne 45 years ago, but they've never stopped living like kings, and now they want their crown back. Picture this. While millions scrape by on $200 monthly, one family burns through more in a weekend than most see in a lifetime. The Pahlavis didn't just escape Iran with their lives, they escaped with everything. And what they've built in exile will make your blood boil. From royal palace to exile paradise, Reza Pahlavi's $12 million Maryland estate sprawls across 26 acres of pristine American soil, horse stables worth more than most houses, private tennis courts, 12-person staff maintaining gardens fit for kings. This isn't downsizing, this is upgrading to Western royalty status. But wait, it gets more ridiculous. Maryland is just their American home base. Paris penthouse in the exclusive 16th arrondissement? Check. $1 million London townhouse in Kensington? Obviously. Swiss chateau overlooking Lake Geneva with mountain views? Of course. Each property worth more than entire Iranian villages combined. The stolen art collection alone will make you physically sick. Persian masterpieces systematically looted during their hasty 1979 escape, now casually decorating multiple exile mansions. Hand-woven carpets worth millions covering floors where a deposed prince walks daily. Ancient royal treasures that rightfully belong in Tehran's national museums, instead hoarded in climate-controlled private collections. Here's the ultimate slap in the face, from throne to exile in 1979, yet somehow their obscene wealth actually multiplied during decades of Iranian suffering. Secret Swiss banking connections, strategic Western investments, carefully hidden offshore accounts, they turned their people's revolution into the ultimate personal financial opportunity. While ordinary Iranians suffered under crushing international sanctions, the Pahlavis thrived in unprecedented Western luxury. The ultimate insult? They actually call this comfortable exile a sacrifice made for their beloved people. But living like royalty isn't just about money, it's about you know. And the connections the Pahlavi family has cultivated will absolutely blow your mind and make you question everything about power in the modern world. While regular people struggle to get their local councilman to return a phone call, Reza Pahlavi casually dines with former U.S. presidents, shares private jets with tech billionaires, and maintains direct phone contact with European foreign ministers. His wife Yasmi doesn't just attend charity galas, she hosts them in venues that cost more for one evening than most people's entire homes are worth. Their 3 daughters? Forget public school. We're talking about exclusive Swiss boarding institutions costing $120,000 annually, per our child. Schools where oil sheikh children, Silicon Valley heirs, and European aristocrat offspring create the next generation of global elite connections. These aren't just schools, they're networking academies for future world leaders. But here's where it gets truly sinister. This network isn't maintained for fun. It's a sophisticated influence operation spanning 3 continents. The Pahlavi family has systematically infiltrated Iranian diaspora communities worldwide, positioning themselves as the only legitimate alternative to Tehran's current regime. They fund Persian cultural centers from Los Angeles to London, sponsor Iranian language schools, and bankroll community events that subtly reinforce their royal legitimacy. Every Persian New Year celebration, every cultural festival, every gathering of homesick Iranians, the Pahlavi name appears prominently, not as sponsors, but as rightful leaders graciously blessing their exiled subjects. They've weaponized nostalgia, turning longing for homeland into political support for restoration. Their Washington lobbying operation alone employs dozens of former State Department officials, CIA analysts, and congressional staffers. These aren't just hired guns, they're true believers in Pahlavi restoration, working to shape American foreign policy toward Iran. When sanctions discussions happen, Pahlavi representatives somehow get invited. When Middle East strategies are debated, their voices carry weight. The genius is breathtaking. They've created a parallel government structure without governing anyone. Royal court functions, official ceremonies for no actual kingdom, diplomatic protocols for a non-existent state. European socialites curtsy to Yasmin Pahlavi at private dinners. Wealthy Iranian Americans compete for royal audiences at Maryland estate gatherings. Most audacious of all, they maintain this elaborate charade while simultaneously claiming to support democratic values. Freedom for Iran, they proclaim, while operating like absolute monarchists in exile. They've convinced thousands that democracy means restoring their hereditary rule. Now here's where things get absolutely insane and infuriating. While living in extreme privilege, Reza Pahlavi has taken to social media calling for uprising in Iran. Let me repeat, a man who hasn't lived in Iran since age 17, who spends more on wine monthly than most Iranians earn yearly, is telling people to risk their lives for revolution. His X account reads like royal decrees from someone who's never faced hardship. The time has come for Iranian people to rise up, he posts from his Maryland mansion. Freedom is within our grasp, he declares while his personal chef prepares dinner with European ingredients. The audacity is breathtaking. But here's what's calculated. His social media strategy is brilliant propaganda. Every post features curated imagery, Persian flags, historical references, inspirational sacrifice quotes. He positions himself not as exiled prince, but as Iran's rightful leader in waiting. The messaging is surgical, emotional appeals to Iranian pride combined with subtle royal legitimacy reminders. His Instagram stories reveal the disconnect. Horse riding lessons at dawn, private concerts in marble halls, dinner parties with international elites, while posting about understanding Iranian suffering. This is a man whose biggest daily struggle is choosing between luxury cars, telling people facing persecution to risk everything. And here's the twisted part. It's working. Thousands of desperate Iranians share his revolutionary posts, genuinely believing this pampered exile understands their pain. They're buying the fantasy that someone living in unprecedented comfort can lead them to liberation. His wealth becomes the ultimate political weapon. Private jets enable instant global travel for diplomatic missions. Mansion gatherings become strategy sessions with diaspora leaders. Swiss accounts fund social media campaigns and influence operations. Every luxury dollar simultaneously builds his political brand. The messaging is masterful manipulation. I sacrifice my comfort for Iran's freedom, he claims from five-star hotels. My exile is temporary, he promises from properties worth hundreds of millions. Let's talk numbers that will make your head spin. Conservative estimates put the Pahlavi family's net worth between 100–200 million, but that's just what we can see. Swiss bank accounts, hidden trusts, offshore investments, the real number could be astronomical. To put this in perspective, while average Iranian families survive on less than $200 monthly, the Pahlavi family's monthly expenses exceed what most Iranian families see in multiple lifetimes. Their utility bills alone, heating massive estates, maintaining manicured grounds, cost more than most people's annual salaries. And they're not just spending it, they're flaunting it. Designer clothes worth thousands, exclusive European vacations, private jet travel between properties. Yasmin Pahlavi's jewelry collection includes pieces that belong to Empress Farah, jewels worth millions representing Iran's plundered royal treasury. But here's the most infuriating part. They frame this obscene luxury as sacrifice. We maintain these properties for the Iranian people, they claim. We preserve Persian culture in exile. As if living in unimaginable wealth is somehow a burden they bear for their former subjects. The disconnect is satirical. While posting about revolution, Reza Pahlavi's social media shows life so privileged, it's on another planet. Horse riding lessons, private concerts, dinner parties with international high society guest lists. Meanwhile, inside Iran, families choose between heating and food. Students protest, knowing they might disappear. Workers strike facing imprisonment, yet somehow, a family that fled 45 years ago believes they deserve to rule these struggling people again. The audacity is breathtaking. They want to reclaim power over a nation they've never truly known, lead people whose suffering they've never experienced, govern a country they've observed only from luxury exile. So here's the question. In an age of revolution, how does a family that lost power before most supporters were born continue living like this? How do they maintain not just wealth, but audacity to claim they deserve ruling again? The answer is terrifying. Enough people believe the fantasy. They've marketed nostalgia for an imperial past most Iranians never experienced, wrapped it in freedom language, funded it with lifestyle, making other wealthy families look modest. Whether you see them as Iran's rightful leaders or ultimate disconnected privilege example, one thing is undeniable: the Pahlavis have mastered maintaining power without having any. Their betting golden exile becomes golden return. The question is, are Iranians desperate enough to crown a king who's never known their struggles, or will they see through this royal cage? Drop your thoughts. Are Pahlavis Iran's hope or proof? Some never understand reality. Subscribe, because next week we're exposing secret financial networks, keeping exiled royalty, living like actual royalty,